Elis James and John Robbins on XFM podcast.
Now it's time for... Are you on email? You've absolutely got to be these days. Anyway, this is Email of the Species, that feature where we read out the emails you send us. We love receiving them. You can contact the show on Saturday at xfm.co.uk. John, what have you got?
Well, I've got a pair of emails today, which sort of related to each other. This is from Gabrielle. She says, Dearest Elis and John, as an absolutely avid fan of your Qualo podcast, I'm using the brilliant medium of email to write to you, good sirs, with 2 requests, which I'd greatly appreciate your help with. 1, could Elis please start a weekly segment of Welsh words?
Okay.
Like a word of the week thing. I love learning the Welsh phrases, and I'm probably the only Kiwi in London using Caifoni Cymru in daily life. She's written Cynfonau.
She's actually,
Cymru.
I've seen the email. She's somehow written Cynfonau, which means tails for Wales, but I was saying tail for Wales. I was saying Cynfoni Gymru. I mean, this is the sort of superb sort of semantic chat we can have when I do my Welsh Word of the Week feature, so that's a great suggestion.
So do you want to pick a Welsh Word of the Week?
Okay, only because I don't find it funny because I'm a Welsh speaker, but all of the people I know who've learnt Welsh find the Welsh word for the game squash very funny. Sponken. Wyt ti moyn game of sponken? Would you like a game of squash? Sponken. They always do that whenever in Welsh lessons. I used to walk past a Welsh lesson, and whenever she'd say squash, they'd all like cheer and go.
Now, folks, if you thought that www stood for World Wide Web, then wake up, because it in fact stands for Welsh Word of the Week.
Radio
X.
Bondigrybwyll, hardly mentionable. Bwgan brain, scarecrow. Igam zigzag.
Gair Cymraeg yr wythnos. Welsh Word of the Week. Great music.
That's right, guys. It's time to take a stroll down
Linguistic Lane.
Linguistic Lane, which in Welsh would be...
Lawn Geiria.
Lawn-geiria. Time to take a walk down Lawn-geiria with Elis's Welsh Word of the Week. Elis, what have we got now today?
This week,
Coming
the Welsh Word of the Week is ansclodus.
Ansclodus.
Do you know what that means?
Hoop.
It doesn't mean hoop. Ansclodus. I'll give you another couple of guesses. Ansclodus.
Swing on a tree.
No. I like where you're going, though.
Does it mean to forget someone's birthday?
No, it doesn't. It means unchip-like or not chips.
Not chips.
Yeah.
Ansclodus.
So if I gave you a plate of pasta, for instance, you could say, mae'r bwyd yma'n ansclodus. This food is unchip-like. Ble mae'r sglodion? Where are the chips?
What context would a Welsh person actually use that in?
Well, if you were given something that wasn't chips and you expected chips and you were angry about it.
But why does that word exist?
Well, I mean, I saw somebody use it on Twitter, and I suppose it's a kind of portmanteau. It does make sense. I've never heard anyone use it, but
would it be in a Welsh dictionary?
I bet you it is in the Welsh dictionary. There was a dictionary.
What, in the official Oxford Collins?
There was a dictionary published in the mid-90s, Geriadur Academy, which is massive, and that's got a lot of colloquialisms and dialect. It's got a lot of great agricultural terms for sex.
So what? But why wouldn't you just say, and this is coming from someone who I'm useless at languages, why wouldn't you just say, this isn't chips? Why does it have to have, why is there a word?
A bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
This isn't chips.
Yeah. Ansclodus.
Well, that's less of a mouthful than saying this is unchip-like.
Well, you don't say, you just scream it. You say ansclodus, unchip-like.
So would you get that maybe if you got curly fries?
Yes. Or rice.
But it doesn't have to be...
we're not listing everything that isn't chips.
It doesn't have to be carbs. It could be soup.
Yeah, it could be soup, yeah.
A lollipop.
A lollipop.
A gas boiler.
Oh, dear. No.
Does it have to be food?
I think it has to be food.
A Capri Sun. Yes. A bolognese.
But you're stunned. So
what about a trifle?
You have a lick of the Capri Sun or a mouthful of trifle. You go, Ansclodus, it's a bit unchip-like. Pidi ar y ffyrdd gyda sglodion, I'm used to chips.
So, what about, would you use the word to describe something that was like chips but not chips, or like polenta chips, which are disgusting, they taste of vomit?
Yeah, I suppose you could say.
Or
Braidd and ansclodus, slightly unchip-like.
Very good. I'm going to start saying ansclodus about everything that isn't chip.
Radio.
X.
Bondi grybwyll, hardly mentionable. Bwgan brain, scarecrow. Igam ogam, zigzag.
Gair Cymraeg yr wythnos. Welsh word of the week. Okay then, John, what do you think this means? And I'm going to give you a bit of help, a bit of a clue with my pronunciation. Oh, shop shavings. Shop shavings.
I think that means like sort of Crivens, Christmas Day, sort of a family-friendly expletive.
You're not far off. It is family-friendly. It means a shambles.
Right.
Badly organised chaos.
Uh-huh.
Literally translates as, oh, this is a wood shavings shop.
Doesn't.
It does.
Well, okay, a number of points to drill down on here. Why and where in Wales would there be a wood shavings shop?
This has never been explained to me. So if any listeners have ever seen a wood shaving shop anywhere worldwide, do text in on 83936 or tweet us at Radio X.
The only time I could imagine a wood shavings shop being of use is at a rain-soaked festival. They have to call in for lorry loads of wood shavings to protect muddy ground.
Yes, or for pubs in the old days when people used to be sick, they'd have sawdust in the pubs.
That's exactly what it'll be, actually.
There's a pub on Fleet Street, a really good pub, the Cheshire Cheese, Old Cheshire Cheese. I think that's what it's called. Do you know it?
Oh, yes, yeah.
And
very old, very old.
Really, really old. But they put the wood shavings out every day and then sweep them up every night.
So it's the same wood shavings?
Yeah.
They're
like
sort of
reusing
ornamental,
them.
decorative.
Exactly.
Decorative, because my favourite pub when I was growing up in Carmarthen, the Spread Eagle, the Spread, used to genuinely have sawdust on the floor because people were sick in there.
Oh, dear.
But it was a great atmosphere, John.
Yeah.
It was a great atmosphere. Come on, we were 17. We were just discovering ourselves.
Well, I read, as you well know, Dublin Pub Life and Law, history of Dublin pubs, and they do sound pretty unhygienic places.
Yes, because I don't think that sawdust is the answer to vomit.
No. But
I think it's bleach, isn't it?
It's
and
amazing
hot water.
those industries that have sort of died out. There were probably marrow salesmen,
Yeah.
and bone hawkers.
Yes, I used to work in quite a rough pub in Cardiff, and we used to get people coming in selling bacon and cheese out of a bin bag. And then obviously they'd just pinch that bacon and cheese from the local span and they'd come in and sell it, and it would always go down a treat. And then you'd get people keeping the bacon and cheese in our fridge next to the Budweiser.
Lovely. So, was that a word your family used?
No,
Say it again.
Shop shavings. No, a friend of mine says it all the time because he's surrounded by chaos, and he just sits there in the pub muttering shop shavings, shop shavings. But I absolutely love it. It makes me laugh every time I hear it.
What a fantastic word. Hope you guys enjoyed expanding your Welsh vocabulary a little bit further. But do remember that Westminster is the base of power.
Radio.
X.
Bondi grybwyll, hardly mentionable. Bwgan brain, scarecrow. Igam ogam, zigzag.
Gair Cymraeg yr wythnos. Welsh word of the week.
So don't get any ideas about winning it back. You're listening to Radio X, and it's almost time for Welsh Word of the Week. But we've got some Welsh Word of the Week correspondence.
Great.
Elis, what's the Welsh for correspondence?
Well, llythyron is probably the best one.
We've got some Welsh Word of the Week, clythyron. First up, this is in relation to shop shavings.
Oh yeah, wood shaving shop.
Wood
which
shaving
means
shop.
Chaos.
This is from Iwan. He says, in regards to your Welsh Word of the Week on last Saturday's show, there is an actual shop in my hometown of Carnarvon called Shop Shavins.
Lovely. Chaos.
It's located literally in the shadow of Carnarvon Castle in Stredy Plas.
Oh, okay.
Coincidentally, next door to my dad's shop, YLP Haberdashery, which was voted the Welshest street in the world in 2016. I'm guessing that most of the entries for Welshest street in the world are in
Carnarvon.
Wales.
Yeah. Well, a couple in Patagonia. Scranton in Pennsylvania is pretty Welsh.
Next up,
Gohebiaeth is a better word than llythyron for correspondence. Sorry.
Rodri
Oh, yeah?
says, Dwi ar e-bost.
I'm on email.
Dear Elis and John, this is more a question for Elis, although I do look forward to hearing John's attempted pronunciation. I'm a translator and recently had to translate humblebrag into Welsh.
Ah.
I asked my friend Rhys, who is not a translator but is also a fellow podcast devotee, for his opinion, and we both came up with separate translations. My question to Elis is, which one does he prefer?
Okay.
So I'm going to give you them. You tell everyone what they literally translate as, and then you have to get a winner. So Rodri's is Ymfrostio Rith Gwynno.
Ymfrostio as in, okay, so to boast humbly, right? Yeah. And what's the other one?
WRTH, Ruth.
Right. Rith. Is it Rith?
Gwynno. GWY. Boasting with whining? Is that what it means?
Yeah. Can I see what your pronunciation? I'm sorry to say, let you down there. Ymfrostio Rith Gwynno. Boasting whilst moaning, and then I do like cyddfrolio, which is sort of secret boasting.
Okay,
I like cyddfrolio. I like it.
Okay, so that's a win, Rodri. Unfortunately, from your friend Rhys's cyddfrolio.
Shop shavins comes from people who worked with wood. If you were, what's the word for people who work with wood? If
Carpenters.
Carpenter, but there's another word. Anyway, if you kept having to reshape something, then there'd be lots of shavings on the floor, and it meant that you'd done it very badly.
Yes.
So
I see.
I see. Right. The word chaos.
Okay, so now this week's Welsh Word of the Week.
Radio X.
Bomdigrybbwyll, hardly mentionable. Bwgan brain, scarecrow. Igam zigzag.
Gair Cymraeg yr wythnos. Welsh Word of the Week.
Welsh Word of the Week. Just notes and queries here, guys. I unfortunately said the Florence and the Machine song earlier was Patricia, It's Hunger. Not quite sure why I had to mention that. Anyway, Elis, what's your Welsh Word of the Week?
What do you think this means, John? Unca munca.
Unca munco.
Unca munca.
Come here for a cuddle.
My God, you're not far off. Unca munca means him over there.
Him over there?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
well, that's not the same.
Well, it's come here, you're over there, we're all in the same room.
Right, but use it in a sentence.
I don't know, the man with the black jacket. Unca munca.
Right.
So that's what you mean. You mean him over. So I would say, if I was talking about someone, and he might be 10 or 15 feet away, and who do you mean? Who are you talking about? This person with the big quiff. You'd say, Unca munca, Trafana.
Unca munca, Trafana. What's Trafana? Him.
Trafana. Him over there. You'd say it twice.
You say it twice in a different way.
Unca munca, Trafana. Him over there.
That guy over there. That guy's staring at you.
Guy over there.
So if you're in a nightclub and you're with a friend and you say, I think that girl's looking at you, mate.
Yes.
And he'd go, what? Which one? You go, Unca munca, Trafana.
Yeah. It's like
him over there.
We occasionally say things twice. For instance, outside is Master Vass, which means I'm going out outside.
Oh, nice.
I'm going outside. Not Tivas, which is outside. I'm going outside. I don't know why that is, but yeah. So I'm broadcasting with Unca munca, John Robbins.
Him over there. Yes. Very good. Great Welsh Word of the Week, mate. Look forward to hearing another one of those. Arctic Monkeys tribute to star of the Fast show, Arabella Weir. You're listening to Radio X, and it's time to expand our linguistic horizons. Welsh Word of the Week.
Radio X.
Bomdigrybbwyll, hardly mentionable. Bwgan brain, scarecrow. Igam zigzag.
Gair Cymraeg yr wythnos. Welsh Word of the Week.
Over to you, sir.
Well, John, you're in the pub.
Thank you. Tell me more.
You're in the pub.
Who else is in the pub?
All of your friends.
Okay, I'll allow that.
All right. None of your friends.
Great.
Oh, okay. Well, you need a friend in this pub.
Oh.
Choose your friend.
What, just one?
Yeah. The lovely Robin.
Okay, lovely Robin.
Lovely Robin.
Oh.
Now, you want to go from pub number 1
to
do
I ever?
Number 2.
Yes, please.
So you say, come on, right trad iddi, which means let's go from one. Well, it means it doesn't necessarily mean a pub. My friend always used to say it in the pub. And it means let's leave this place now, let's go, let's move on. Literal translation, let's give it feet.
Oh, I like
Let's
it.
give it feet.
Let's
now,
give it some feet, man.
one of my...
Can you say the phrase again, please?
Come on, roi trad iddi.
Roi trad
Let's
iddi.
give it feet. Let's give her feet, actually.
Roi trad iddi.
Now, one of my best friends from
I'm gonna
school,
write that down.
one of the great pub men, and he realised, especially when he was at university, he had an older brother, and so he realised it had been passed down to him, the idea that time in the pub is precious. Time in the pub is short. So my friend, he used to actually shorten roi trad iddi to just trad, which meant feet.
Oh.
So if he'd finish his drink, and he was a quick drinker, so would always finish his drink first. He'd drain his pint, glass on the table. Come on, trad. Come on, feet. And then everyone else would have to down their drinks, and everyone else would have to leave.
So could you spell Roi trad iddi for me?
Rhoi, which is RHOI.
Yep.
New word, trad, feet, TRAED.
Yep.
Iddi.
Tread, like tread.
Yeah.
Yep.
Iddi, I-double-D-I. Roi trad iddi, give it feet.
Give it feet.
But I used to love the way he'd go, trad, feet, and everyone would go, oh yeah, sorry.
Well, I wouldn't want to cause unnecessary hurry to anyone in a pub enjoying their time.
He was moving on. He wanted to move on. New challenges.
Well, that said, on a pub crawl situation, it is vital to move on after one pint in each pub. Otherwise, you slump in.
That was always his. Always his philosophy, because he just seemed to have been blessed with pub knowledge. It was in his DNA. It was in his bones.
The lovely Robin will often say, "We need some momentum,"
Oh,
and
nice.
that may
I
be
like
shortened
that.
to mements.
Oh, yes.
Mements. The two of the great pub men met last night for the first time, didn't they? Do you want to describe it?
Yes, John Robbins versus Barry Glendenning.
Oh.
He's a football writer for The Guardian. He's the best one on the Guardian Football Weekly podcast. I'm in love with him. I'm in love with you. It was really great to see.
Two pub men just slugging it out.
Yeah. I mean, you fought for an hour. Punched each other.
I'd had 6 cans of Guinness.
Yes,
He'd
so
had
would
about
he.
8 pints of lager.
It was so good to see that. Two pub men in action. I just stood back and I watched, applauded at points.
And I also spoke to his friend, was it Gav?
I think so, yeah.
Who works on building sites, about the building site I looked at in Birmingham for a couple of hours. And it was a fascinating chat. So, guys, I mean, that's the kind of great stuff me and Elis get up to. Talking about building sites.
I've got a headache and I'm tired.
It's time for Welsh Word of the Week.
Radio X.
Bondigrybwyll, hardly mentionable. Bwgan brain, scarecrow. Igamogan, zigzag.
Gair Cymraeg yr wythnos. Welsh Word of the Week. Welcome to Welsh Word of the Week. Slightly different this week because we've had an email about it. Hi, Elis and John. I thought you'd enjoy the attached. A friend bought the Usborne Welsh Welsh for Beginners book for 10p from a car boot sale. I was quite surprised when some notepad paper fell out with some specialist Welsh phrases on it that you might not be able to broadcast on the radio. It leads one to wonder what kind of dark night of the soul the Welsh learner was having. Did they have a dalliance that ended badly, which necessitated the learning of some choice Welsh phrases? That's from Mark in London, and I've had a look at the notepaper. He's attached a photograph of it. So I'll try my best to radio-friendly these up.
So this was found in what I'm guessing, because it's Usborne, is a children's guide to learning Welsh.
It's a 1980s children's guide to learning Welsh, and it was bought at a car boot sale for 10 pence. And this little sort of addendum note fell out, and it says a cachor bach, which means little s. You're a little s.
You're not, when you say the Welsh bit, you're not saying the bad bit in Welsh.
I am,
you?
but they'll be so pleased to hear it on the radio. We won't get any complaints. But I might actually.
What's the Welsh for Ofcom?
Yeah.
Can you swear in a foreign language on the radio?
Let's say, for the sake of safety, no.
What if it's Welsh? What if he's bringing back a dead language, a language many thought was dead?
I'm not bringing it back, and nobody thought it was dead. I'm just
They did in the 50s.
They thought
They tried to kill it.
They thought it might die in the 50s. Hence Saunders Lewis's.
Ellis is a trailblazer.
Right.
Well, let's
okay.
Let's be careful and apologies to any Welsh speakers
apologies.
who felt that was a bit tasty.
Here we go then. Where's the other one? There's about 20 of them. Rwyt ti'n fochyn tew hyll a drawi. You are a fat ugly pig.
Oh dear.
Then.
So you having to radio friendlify the Welsh
there's
and the
more.
English?
There's way more of that, and then it goes to I love you.
Oh dear.
Yeah, there's so many swear words, and then followed by I love you and y Mannix yw'r grŵp gore yn yr holl fyd yma erioed. The Mannix are the best band in the whole world ever. But lots and lots and lots of swearing, followed by the Mannix are great and I love you. And
Well, can you give us an example of some of the phrases in English that have been radio friendlified?
Very weird. It's lots of you're fat and ugly, but lots of variants of that, followed by James is gorgeous and the most gorgeous man ever.
Wow. Maybe they were working on some graffiti.
Maybe.
Because it's the sort of thing you might write on a toilet door.
Ifar Dundee, which means you're a sneaky, annoying devil.
Lovely stuff.
You have a lamb's gentleman's agreement.
Really? Is that one of the things?
That's quite a big insult, that.
Is it?
Yeah. You've got a lamb's gentleman agreement. You are a lamb's gentleman's agreement. I've been called that countless times.
Have you really?
Yeah. At school, sort of in the workplace. But however, let's move on to the Welsh word of the week. I think you'll be able to guess what I'm saying. John.
Yeah.
I've been saboni to John. So, John, you've got lovely clear skin. Oh, John, you're so charming. You're great on an internet-based
quiz show on UK Digital Channel Dave.
You've got a lovely haircut, John, even though you only
Where's the
spend
Welsh in all of this?
Yeah.
Saboni, right at the start. I'm saboni. Fi'n saboni John.
You're being so bonny.
Yeah. What's that mean in English?
You're complimenting me? You're
Almost.
lying?
No, it's...
Buttering me up. After money?
It's buttering you up. But the Welsh word saboni literally means I'm soaping you up.
Oh, lovely.
I'm soaping up John Robbins. Been saboni to John. Ooh.
So why soaping?
I don't know.
You're cleaning me?
I think it's because when you're soaped up, obviously...
You're more malleable?
You're more malleable.
You're nude? You're perhaps more suggestible? But if you came to me in the shower and asked to borrow a tenner, I would tell you to take you and your lamb's gentleman's agreement elsewhere.
Yeah, but what if I was soaping you up at the same time?
I would howl
tenner?
and howl until my throat ripped and I woke up from this terrible daymare.
Saboni. Yeah, I'm soaping you up. I'm saying that you're, I'm trying to charm you, John. I'm trying to kill you with kindness by soaping you up. Oh, John, you've got a lovely pair of eyes.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to Elis James and John Robbins on Radio X, and it's time now to continue our lesson in Wales's cultural linguistic heritage with Welsh Word of the Week.
Radio X.
Bondi grybwyll, hardly mentionable. Bwgan brain, scarecrow. Igam ogam, zigzag.
Gair Cymraeg yr wythnos. Welsh Word of the Week. John.
Hello to you.
I accuse you of clecs.
Clecs. I reckon it's not as sexy as it sounds.
No, it isn't.
Is it using sort of pre-made food in MasterChef?
What, clecs?
Yeah, so like using Heinz tomato soup as an ingredient.
No, it isn't.
Is it
clecs?
Not... Is it buying two items that are part of a 3 for 2 and not buying the third, even though someone you're shopping with has explained to you how insane that is?
No.
Okay,
that's not clecs. Clecs, it means...
How do you spell it?
C-L-E-C-S.
Yeah.
And it means gossip or telling tales.
Oh.
Yeah, you're telling tales. It's the kind of thing teachers say at school, but they don't just say clecs, they say cario clecs, which means, John, you've been transporting gossip.
Oh.
Cario clecs, you've been carrying tales, carrying gossip.
I always thought that was a real cop-out from a teacher that didn't want to deal with any situations. You say, oh, sir, Darren just punched me in the face. Don't tell tales. Well, the tale I'm telling is true and is an injustice and is actually of an illegal act.
What's wrong with telling tales?
Well, it depends.
In a primary school situation.
Yes. Well, if the tale is true, it's not a tale, because I guess the insinuation is that it's made up.
Yeah, clex malacis, malicious clex.
Maybe if maybe if teachers should have to say, don't tell facts. Stop telling facts about Darren punching in the
stop
face.
transporting facts about Darren.
Essentially, that was the sort of playground version of fake news. Saying don't tell tales.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, fake news. And it's very easy to fake news in the playground. You just need access to a Photoshop app on a smartphone, and then you can make one of those posts on Facebook that can often go viral even though they're factually incorrect. I mean, God, the primary school playground is a minefield these days, isn't it? Full of clecks.
Undaunted, I continued to clex throughout my primary school career and secondary school until those issuers of punches,
the clexists,
bag theft, were brought to justice, which some of them were.
Good. You see, that's the thing, this show...
Others, I still keep an eye out to this day.
You see, this radio show has a moral compass.
Yes.
And we are anti-clecks.
No, we're
pro-clecks.
If the clex is factually accurate.
Yes, that's it.
It depends what type of clex you got.
Yeah. We're not taking clecks on a case-by-case basis. We are.
No, we are taking...
No, but we're pro the true clecks. We are anti-fake clecks.
Yeah, correct.
Good.
We're clex execs.
Elis James and John Robbins.
And it's time to delve into the feature that's got the world talking in a different way. It's Welsh Word of the Week.
Radio X.
Bondigrybwyll, hardly mentionable. Bwgan Brain, scarecrow. Igam ogam, zigzag.
Gair Cymraeg yr wythnos. Welsh Word of the Week.
That's right, guys. It's the feature which is part funded by S4C.
By the Welsh Assembly.
We actually get £1,000 per episode in order to do Welsh Word of the Week, in order to spread the word of Welsh around England. Elis.
Lingdy Long.
Lindy Long.
Lingdy Long.
Lindy.
Ling.
Lingdy.
Yeah, Lingdy Long.
Lingdy Long. I reckon... I mean, it reminds me of sort of a flowing dress that a lady might wear in the countryside.
Yeah. See-through flowing dress.
No, it's opaque. It's decent. It's well measured, well cut. It's perhaps white with a blue floral design.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's something to do with summer dresses or hair.
Lingdy Long.
It reminds me of sort of a bouncing lady's brunette hair.
Yeah. Bouncing hair.
Does it mean
Lingdy
bouncing
Long.
hair?
No.
What does it mean?
It means lackadaisical.
Does it really?
Yeah. I'm feeling very Lingdy Long. But it reminds me of a saying...
But lackadaisical is sort of not taking care, isn't it?
Yeah, but also it's Lingdy Long. It sort of means lackadaisical, but also slightly unhurried.
Like Matt Letizia.
Yes, he's a Lingdy Long footballer.
Is he?
It's also, if you Google it, the name of a lot of Chinese restaurants.
Is it really?
Is that what you were doing earlier?
Because I was trying to think of the best English translation for Lingdy Long, and I was just scrolling through a lot of Chinese restaurants trying to get to it. But eventually, I just thought, use your dictionary app. What are you doing? But yeah, Lingdy Long. It means sort of you're unhurried. You've got all the time in the world.
You're putting off checking your emails?
Yes, absolutely.
You're Lingdy Long.
I've got a Lingdy Long approach to it.
Whereas a lackadaisical attitude would be replying to 1 in 4 emails. I think. Maybe we need to do an English word of the week for you, Elis.
Yes, all right then, okay. It slightly reminds me of a phrase my mother used to use. If I put something down and then forgot where I'd put it, my mother would say, "Ti fel heddi yfory," which means you're like today and tomorrow.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
I like that.
Ti fel heddi
What does that
yfory.
mean? You're like today and tomorrow?
You're like today and tomorrow. Literally, it means you're like today and tomorrow. But it means, oh, where are my glasses? Your glasses are on your head. You're like today and tomorrow.
Right, wow.
Yeah. So I'm Lingdy Long. I'm like today and tomorrow. Who am I? I'm Elis James.
Sweet child of mine, which in Welsh would be...
Baban Annwyl fi. Fy maban Annwyl.
And by Guns N' Roses, which would be...
Drill a Rhosyn.
Lovely. They should have gone with that. We're catchier. Anyway, it's time for Welsh Word of the Week.
Radio X.
Bondigrybwyll, hardly mentionable. Bwgan Brain, scarecrow. Igam ogam, zigzag.
Gair Cymraeg yr wythnos. Welsh Word of the Week. John,
Yes.
it's relevant to you.
Great.
Dial. I can give you a clue as
Yeah.
well. Mogwai.
Sound. Loud.
No.
Cool.
No. But
Scottish.
no.
Post-rock.
It's not the Welsh word for post-rock.
Dial.
Yeah.
Instrumental.
No, I'll explain it to you with a quote from Griff Rhys, who sang on the album Rock Action, which was released in 2001.
Not Griff Rhys-Jones.
No, Griff Rhys from the Super Furry Animals, because they were big mates, the Super Furries and Mogwai. Griff Rhys said of the song, I think Mogwai were into me writing in Welsh because they're an instrumental band and they wanted to sing.
Oh, it's from the song.
Yeah.
Dio, dio.
Yes.
Prosomai,
Yeah, that's it. They wanted a singer who would just be sounds for most people.
Can I whisper something in your ear?
No.
Okay.
Back then, people were still using payphones. Now then, we finish. Back then, people were still using payphones. When you take a payphone off the hook, on the LCD screen, it flashes dial. But in Welsh, dial, means revenge. So it puts you in a weird place when you're making a phone call. So the song is about that.
Well, there's a Mogwai song called Dial
Revenge.
Dial Revenge.
Yeah.
Is that the name of that one? Dial: Revenge.
Yeah, that's
it's
it.
all falling into place.
Because you see, when I see the word dial, I instantly think of dial, which means revenge, and Griff Rhys is the same. So when you used to lift the phone off the hook, it looked like the phone box was telling you to commit an act of revenge.
Ah, fantastic.
Yeah, so Griff Rhys wrote Dial Revenge about that on the Mogwai album Rock Action.
What are the lyrics to Dial Revenge?
Oh, I can't remember. They're in Welsh, aren't they? I'd have to check them out.
Are Welsh lyrics as, oh wow, spending time on my own. Arbedam syrmben ffoi hwn, cynnal coff ac gadau blin.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
With a chowan tam.
sounds like it's singing in Japanese.
A bob trw dwain codea.
Yeah.
Fion mae'n dwa dial.
Yeah.
So what's that in English?
Well, phone mae'n dweud dial. The phone, it says revenge.
Yeah.
But actually it's saying dial.
I've
never said the word dial this much in my life.
Spending time on my own. So these are the translated lyrics to Dial Revenge.
Yes.
Spending time on my own, holding on to painful memories, a stitch for stitch and lust for lust. And every time I pick up the phone, it says revenge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dial anweddus, nid. Indecent revenge, not.
Not the fearful
Grim
power
ar
of gold,
swydus air a
incense and myrrh.
the fearful power of gold, incense and myrrh. Yeah. That's the thing, dial. So please don't commit an act of dial, John. Dial your friends.
Right, I see. So that's the connection to me. But do check out Rock Action, the album.
Yes,
it's
great record. Yeah, good band. I loved it that the Furries and Mogwai were good mates. I thought that was so cool. Cool friends being cool.
It's very true.
Oh, Glasgow was good and Wales wasn't bad either, was it? God, the past was great. I want to kiss it.
Okay.
Even though, broadly, I think life is an adventure.
What?
I'm trying not to be so nostalgic in 2019. I'm trying to be furious, not curious. No, that's the wrong way around. I'm trying to be curious, not furious. Oh, looking forward to it.
Elis, what would be the Welsh for bum-like?
Fel penol.
Okay, because it's time for Welsh Word of the Week.
Radio X.
Bondi grybwyll, hardly mentionable. Bwgam Drain, Scarecrow. Igam Ogam, Zigzag.
Gair Cymraeg yr wythnos. Welsh Word of the Week. It's a fun one this week.
Because the rest have all been pretty serious.
Right. Well, there's a term, and it's called gwerin or werin, and it's a very, very evocative term, and it means, it doesn't really have an English equivalent or direct translation, but it effectively means peasantry / working class / folk people.
Right.
But it's a very, very...
So could you just, so as someone who, I could order a baguette, but not really a linguist. What do you mean by doesn't have a direct translation? How is that possible?
Well, because I suppose the thing with a werin is if you took it as a direct, if you took it as a direct translation of working class, it tends to mean your relationship to the economy. But werin is slightly more mystical than that. It's like we are of this place.
Sort of salt of the earth.
Yes, but it also implies authenticity and that your family are real, and people, especially Welsh
real
people,
fans.
Yeah, and Welsh people are often quite
keen to point out that they are the real deal Awerin. Now, that's not quite my Welsh word of the week. My Welsh word of the week is Awerin datus, which is an interchangeable term with Awerin, which literally means the potato people. So I am a potato person, John.
Are you?
Yeah, my mother was a humble careers officer. I'm a potato person.
So what would be a potato person?
Well, Awerin datus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Awerin datus.
So we're potato people.
We're potato people. Now, the thing with Awerin, it has this odd emotional hold over Welsh speakers.
To be a potato person.
To be a potato person. So often, say, if you work in the media,
yes,
and you've got a conversation with a top commissioner, and you're having a meeting with the top commissioner, you're trying to get your idea away, you're trying to get your drama made or your documentary made or your sitcom made, and they'll say, listen, Elis, I love your idea, but what will the potato people think? And you go, I think the potato people will like it. And they'll say, yeah, but we're in Cardiff, we're having espresso, we're not real potato people anymore. What will the potato people think? And you're like, I'm convinced, I know.
So it's kind of like the man on the street if the street were a field.
Yes, I suppose, yeah. But it means more than working class or normal person. It's sort of...
Sons of the soil.
Sons of the soil / potato people.
Very good. Another Welsh word of the week next week.
Radio X.
Bondi grybwyll, hardly mentionable. Bwgan brain, scarecrow. Igam zigzag.
Gair Cymraeg yr wythnos. Welsh word of the week. I'm in a good mood, John. I'm going to give you 2 for 1.
Right.
So, Welsh word of the week number 1. John, fancy some sponken?
Fancy some...
Sponken.
Sponken.
Yeah, sponken. Fancy a bit of sponken?
No, thanks. I've
John.
just eaten.
It's good for you.
Is it?
It'll get you fit. It's all in the wrist.
Oh, come on.
It is sponken is all in the wrist.
What's Welsh for tawdry, cheap innuendo?
Come on, I'll book us some sponken.
Is it badminton?
No, you're very close. Squash.
I was going to say squash. Let me have another guess.
Well, that's sorry.
My second guess is squash.
Well done. Sorry, I hate guessing games, so I always think other people
I love
hate
them.
guessing
Best
games.
game.
Oh, all right. Well, okay then. So sponken is squash. For some
Big in the 80s, not so
it
much
was.
now.
Dad slipped a disc playing squash in the 80s.
All dads played squash in the 80s.
Yeah, it ruined his 1987.
Did it?
It did. Yeah, he slipped a disc. You've slipped a disc, haven't you?
Twice.
Immensely painful.
He is.
So sponken. A friend of mine from Neath near Swansea, he learnt Welsh, and the entire class found the word sponken hilarious. So when the teacher would say, "Okay, let's go through the sports. Pildroid is football. Sponken is squash," they'd all go, "Whey." I don't know why that is.
Pildroid.
Pildroid.
What is that? What's the literal translation?
Bullfoot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. My second Welsh word of the week is a normal word. However, in my school, it was a pejorative term. It was a big insult in my school. Chwanen.
Chwanen.
Chwanen by Elis James. A wanen. What a wanen.
Does it mean like square?
No.
Loser?
You're getting there.
Small twerp?
Yeah, very close.
Mousy man?
You keep going. I like this. I like the careful line you're sort of treading.
Jumpers? Does it mean jumpers?
You're a wanen. You're a weak wanen. God, it's such a weak
Ditherer?
No, it means flea.
Does it?
Yeah, it was a big insult. So if you did anything sort of cowardly or like sort of, if you were guilty of sissy behaviour,
that's
older
quite
boys
sort
would
of
call
like
you
a Georgian
flea.
term.
Yeah, it is. They'd call you a flea. You go, sorry. And they say one, and then they'd all laugh. But I was fine with it.
How little that thou dost deny me is.
What's that?
John Donne from The Flea.
Oh, of course.
Where he makes a...
I did that for my A-level. How do you remember that?
Because it's good poetry, though his sexual politics is bang out.
Was the 1500s?
16th century?
Which is the 1500s?
Yeah. He's basically what he's arguing. It's a sort of
Here we
exercise
go.
in rhetoric, but I don't
Right.
agree with him.
Good.
But he's
No
saying-
one's saying you do.
No, he's saying, look, we're in bed. A flea has bitten us
yes.
both. Our
Of course.
Our blood has mingled in the flea.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be much of a leap of faith for us to have sex. But that's not on.
Yes.
John.
That's Of course. I'm
Not cool, man.
back there. It's 1997. I'm doing my A-levels.
Yeah.
Of course, the flea.
I'm like a cool teacher.
You are a cool teacher. The metaphysical poet.
I'm not afraid to say sex in a class full of sixth formers.
Yeah, 18-year-olds is ideal.
Yeah.
Any younger than that, you need to ask the head teacher if that's cool.
Yes, or
And
just
those-
mime.
Radio X. Ellis James and John Robbins. Radio
X.
Bondi grybwyll, hardly mentionable. Bwgan brain, scarecrow. Igam ogam, zigzag.
Gair Cymraeg yr wythnos. Welsh word of the week. I've got two for you this week, John. As a little treat, I'll start off with a quick one. Torth.
Use it in a sentence.
Torth o fara.
Use it in a sentence where the rest of the words are English.
Okay, I can't be bothered. Torth means loaf if you say it with the right amount of venom. Also means thicko.
Does it?
Shut up, you Torth. Shut up,
Really?
you loaf.
Oh, I don't mind that.
Yeah, stop acting like a loaf, John. But this next one is a very, very important word. Homophones, words that spelt the same that sort of mean two different things. So I think that's technically a heteronym, but you know what I mean. Words like witch and witch, for instance.
Hang on, that's homophones are words that are spelt differently but sound the same.
I
aren't
think a homophone actually is a catch-all term for all of these words. I think a heteronym is the same spelling. So dessert to leave.
No, same pronunciation but different meanings.
That's it. Right. Well, this is an absolute banger. Hoyle.
Hoyle.
Yeah, Hoyle.
Okay, use it in a sentence.
I can't be bothered.
Come on, mate.
All right then. Well, in an English sentence.
Yeah.
Okay, your Hoyle is flapping. Oh, big Hoyle? Oh, you're in a good Hoyle. Oh my God, John. Are you feeling Hoyle again? Oh, how's your Hoyle?
Well, are these all different meanings?
Yes. Well, homophones.
So cape, mood,
Yes, that's one.
well,
Yeah, that's one as well. Homophones are very, very rare in Welsh. They don't happen very often, but when they do, you get some absolute bangers. Hoyle can mean sail. It can also mean goodbye. I hadn't realised this till quite recently. Hoyle fawr is how you say goodbye, which basically means big fun. it also means fun.
Okay.
So every time you say goodbye to someone, say, hey, big fun. Hope you have all the fun.
When you say sail, you mean like...
Oh, on a boat.
Right,
like
okay.
a vast.
Yeah.
Not in a shop.
It also means your general humour.
Right.
It also means your mood, hwyliau da, he's in good spirits.
Mm-hmm.
It also means religious fervour. Yes, so like if you sort of discovered Christianity and became all evangelical, I'd be saying, oh my God, John's in a Hoyle.
Yeah.
So it can mean an awful lot of things. I love saying big fun at the end of a sentence. When you say goodbye to someone. Though.
So would that be the equivalent of, say, the English word bye, which could mean bye, as in you're leaving,
Goodbye.
or it could mean he got a bye to the second round.
Yes.
Or that's leg byes,
Yes.
etc.